What is going on, guys? Proteus 458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where today we are finally getting into episode 2 of our solo playthrough. Now, it's been a little while since episode 1, and I'm awfully sorry about that. But we're going to rectify that today, and let's just double check exactly what we need to do. So, the goal for today. Okay, so we need both logistics and base building is something that we need to get going on. No, you should be full. You should probably be full of more plates, nearly full. And you should be full of rods. So, the plan for today, as I said, is we want to get our logistics, and we almost have enough. Get that unlocked and get the base building milestone unlocked. I think that will be a good plan for today. So let's make sure we are getting that concrete, because we are going to need a lot of concrete. And then we can start talking about how exactly we are going to proceed going forward while we wait for all the lovely things to build up for us. Let's get you going, and we shall get you going as well. Where's that other one? Okay, so all of these should now be making, we got 33 from you, 34 from you, right? And from you, and last but not least you. So you actually got a decent amount of concrete, 169, at least decent enough for this stage in the game, having just kind of started everything off. But as soon as we get logistics done, which we can actually get done now, hooray, we can start to streamline processes a bit and start to improve some efficiency. Now, I'm not going to go completely crazy about getting everything as efficient as possible right now, because as I said in episode 1, this entire area is going to be ripped up and removed once we start building out a little bit. Let's go and launch that off. I think this is the first launch. Did we do a launch last episode? I don't think so. Oh yeah, just stop talking and let's watch our strange looking little craft descend to the heavens. So let's get up to the next one. The next one we are going to want to do is base building, and you can see we nearly have enough stuff for that. We just need to wait on some plates and some iron rods, so we'll just pick up everything we can right now, and then we can sort of start planning what we're going to do. So my idea for this playthrough is it's largely going to follow a very similar pattern to what I've been doing with my friends, which you can watch us do it live from time to time over at twitch.tv/predator458. You can also watch me play lots of other games there if you are interested. But what we're going to do is we're going to build out into this void. I know it's going to trigger some people. Some people do not like having floating platforms, and I completely agree with you, but I'm also lazy. So we're just going to build straight out there, and we'll have a nice big platform that we can build on. And as time goes on, we will try and figure out kind of how to build some like support structures down to the floor, so it doesn't look like a platform floating just in the sky. So we will work on making that look pretty, and when it comes to things like building out bridges and that sort of thing out into resources in faraway areas, we will do our best to make sure that those look nice and don't just look like floating platforms in the sky, because I don't like it either. So we will definitely, besides the main base kind of floating off here initially, we will work towards making sure that it's not back yet. How long until? A minute and a bit. So we will do our best to making sure that it's not horrible and floating in the sky. So now that we've done logistics, we can start to improve our production of plates and rods and that. But as I say, we're not going to go too crazy, because everything is going to be ripped off and put onto the main base out there once we are able to do so. But we do still want to start at least improving things a bit. So, and it is going to involve ripping some of this stuff up, unfortunately. I want logistics. I'm just going to put these on the toolbar. I'm going to put this sort of as 7 and 8. Can we, you're a merger, you're a splitter, can we fit that in there? I don't think we're going to be able to fit that in there. So we are actually going to have to rip all of that out anyway, and we are going to need more cable. Should have left a little bit more space between everything when I built it the first time. But I didn't, so, you know, what can you do? Now, this needs 30 and it's getting 60. So we could technically be running 2 smelters off each node for this. You need 15, so we are going to split you. It's the cable that we need. We are going to split things up and double our production of plates and rods a bit, just so that things go a little bit quicker. But as I said, we're not going to worry about going full on 100% efficiency right here, just because, as I said, we are going to be ripping all of it up and moving it all over
Milestone exchange concluded
relatively shortly. So let's see, what we can do that, we can do that, and we just need some more of those, and then we can get the base building milestone done, so we can actually start laying out the foundations. Because again, one of the big things we need to do is we need to build out along this cliff here, because there is more concrete or more limestone, so we are going to want to get that. We are going to want to can we build another one of these? What are you snapping onto? Because you're not snapping onto this one. Maybe you are. So we can actually merge a whole bunch of these now. And as I said, this is all going to look very horrible and very messy for the time being, and we will make everything look pretty very soon, I promise. We just want to kind of get everything going into a large storage container. Let's try and line you up a bit here. Put you snapping too. And just so we can start getting all this concrete into one lovely place, so we don't have to go and pick everything up manually. And then for you, again, we're just going to try and slap on a splitter here wherever it will fit. I hate doing it this way because it does look so very, very horrible. And it's not going to be working at 100% efficiency, unfortunately. But I think it's still better to have 2 working at like 75% than only having 1 working at 100%. And we can do a quick run up, although this is now going to make, oh no, we can jump over it, that's good. We can make a run up and go and just get all of this stuff. And 100 from you, and let's just take a ride down and top up these storage bins, so we can start getting that lovely, lovely concrete, and we can start getting to a point where we can actually make a pretty base. Okay, so the basic idea, as I said, we are going to be building out into this void. The basic idea is that the floor that we start will kind of maybe start from on top of this little ledge here, so it doesn't sort of clip into anything too much. The floor that we're going to start here is going to be our basic smelting floor, so all of our ores will be brought into it, smelted, and then we'll move up floors as we go. So the second floor will be the constructors making everything into iron plates and iron rods, and the copper into copper cables and copper wire and all that. The third floor is probably going to be completely dedicated towards screw production, and fourth floor and so on. What I will do, and again, this is something that we've kind of did with my friends. I never actually told you, whoopsie, to make concrete. So please make concrete. Is we'll do a floor underneath, which will be for concrete and probably for steel, because that actually worked quite well in our playthrough that we've been doing. So we will have a floor underneath for concrete, so everything will work towards moving all of this concrete stuff to the basement, if you will. And potentially, as I said, eventually we might do steel processing there, because it worked really well to be able to make our encased industrial beams later on there, with having concrete and steel beams all in one place. So the next thing that we need to do, where's it, is we need to get to our foundations, and we're probably going to use, for this base floor, the 8 by 2. Let's try and get it lined up. And everything from now on will be built outwards from this foundation block. Absolutely everything. So when I move to cover all of this area with foundation blocks, they will be built outwards from this. But now the next mission is to go and get additional concrete. And as I said, there's another limestone node over here, because concrete is the big limiting factor at the moment, because we have a lot of foundations we need to build. So there's the limestone node over there. And again, a lot of this will be ripped up a little bit later. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to set up, for the time being, need you there. We are going to set up 2 constructors out here to make concrete, and then we'll just have a very horrible conveyor belt bringing it in with the rest of everything. And of course we need more cables, because it wouldn't be satisfactory if you didn't have to always run around collecting various things you didn't realize you didn't have enough of on your person. But yeah, so we'll build all of this out, and we'll make some nice big floors for all the various stuff and things to be needed. Copper cable or copper wire, so I can make the cable. So doing it this way, building it out there, we will have a lot of space, and we've just got to kind of figure out exactly how we run everything in terms of getting all the raw materials into the base, and how we lay out the smelters and that sort of thing, which is where I think I will sort of go a slightly different route compared to how we did in the multiplayer game, and I'll explain that when we eventually get there. But I think it will make my life a little bit easier further down the road, which is obviously incredibly important right now, because in the multiplayer game I'm playing with two or three friends, so I have a lot of little bitches that I can order around to do my bidding for me. Yeah, that's right, Kirky, Willie, you heard me, my little bitches. But I've got help, and we're all working together to sort of make something awesome. Whereas now I'm completely on my lonesome, and I'm gonna have to do everything on my own. So doing it this way, I think, is going to make my life a wee bit easier, especially as we get further into the game. Because even in that multiplayer game, let me tell you, things took a hell of a long time. I think when we were doing, what was it? Heavy modular frames, I believe it was. It took 4 gameplay sessions to get all of that set up because we had to basically go from scratch, from the beginning, levels, and increase production on everything in order to support the production of the heavy modular frames. And yeah, it was a lot of work, and we were all pitching in for that. But now I'm going to be all on my own for that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Are you gonna? Yeah, I'm just going to kind of run it right on the edge here. Although then it's going to clip through. Yeah, forget that idea. I'll bring it in a bit. But as I said, I'm not terribly worried about how all of this looks, because as soon as I have enough concrete, I will be building a separate floor downstairs for the concrete production, and we'll move everything. Still kind of want you to go a bit straight. We'll move everything into nicer looking areas. Just for right now, I mean, we can walk under there. It's all good. Jump over. We'll make it work. So let's again just go and pop in some extra limestone into the storage containers. The faster we get all of that done, the better it is, because now we're going to be waiting on concrete so that we can start building these floors out nicely and getting everything set up. So concrete, as I said, it's such a big limiting factor early on in the game like this. We really, really want to get concrete going and fast. So at least now we're kind of going to have 4, concrete constructors working at near full capacity the entire time, and we can just go and get those other ones working when we remember from time to time. So to get power out to you guys, again, doesn't have to look pretty, it's just got to kind of get there. And that, and then we just got to plug you in and plug you in. And now I've got to make sure I have enough stuff on me, because I am going to have to jump down. Do I have to? Can I build a miner? Do I have everything? I can. Encroaching. Oh, because there's freaking... Yeah, okay, so I'm going to have to jump down there. Let's bring this out all the way to there. Make sure, what am I going to need? I've got the stuff to make the miner, I've got the stuff to make conveyors, and the conveyor lifts. So yeah, let's just jump down. Make sure that is attached, because these little beasties are... There we go. Yeah, you didn't even know where I came from. Completely ninjaed that guy. Got to get rid of this. And come on. And there we go. So now we can put the miner on. And bring this out to here. And then we can just take a conveyor lift and bring you, again, kind of looks okay. And as long as you connect and you work fine, we will worry about tidying things up a little bit later. But now we got to take a run all the way back, which is fine, gives us a chance to look at this lovely environment. And I can talk you through where some other resources are. So just down there is coal, I believe. It's somewhere down here. The first coal node that we'll be using for our coal power. And again, I'm probably going to lay things out very similarly to the way I did it in the multiplayer session. So the coal power plant is probably going to be in the same place. Because, we've kind of experimented with that you know, we've seen what worked and what didn't, so that's probably going to be how it's all going to work out again. But we'll see what happens. Maybe you guys in the comments, if you've got any suggestions that you want to put forward that I can consider using. Let's get all of that out. And we can build this together, but you know, I kind of have an idea in mind of how I want things to, or how I'm planning on things going. But this is going to be very much an organic base. I'm not planning anything else in you know, too much of a crazy manner. So things are going to change. And I'm looking forward to seeing how everything is going to grow. That was very close. I very nearly fell to my death there. So put that there and get that plugged in. Yeah, it looks gross, but we will fix it all up and make sure limestone is coming out. How are we doing on power? Oh, we've still got plenty. Hello? Yeah, it looks like the mine. There we go. And we've got limestone. So both of these are now selected for concrete. I did not forget this time. Yes, so we will now have extra concrete. So, sweet. We can now run all the way back and maybe start laying down some actual foundations and start thinking about where we're going to move things and how we're going to move things. See exactly how much concrete we have. Oh, we've actually got quite a bit. That's very nice. Because, I mean, ideally, if we can kind of get ahead of the concrete production, I would rather start moving things onto the main base platform and just demolish this stuff once, you know, and start building straight out into here, rather than starting to build and starting to improve only to demolish and then move out when I can. Because if there's one thing I hate, and it, you know, it's not a good thing in games like this and Factorio, is I don't like building things twice. I want to build it once, and I want everything to be 100% the first time. So let's just see exactly how much. I mean, these things fill up so quickly. And what can we get rid of? We can get rid of. We can get rid of that. So let's go and just top this up, and then we'll start building things out, and I can start kind of giving you guys an idea of how everything is going to take shape, because we have now been going for 23 minutes. Is that everything? And as I said in the last episode, I kind of want these videos to be about 25 to 30 minutes long. So we didn't quite get as much done as I wanted, but we can worry about that in the next one. So let's try and build this out quickly without falling to our death. We do have to be awfully careful. Now, normally what I'll be doing is I will be using the 8x1 foundations. It's just for the sort of middle floor that I'm going to use the 8x2s. All the floors above this one will be the 8x1, and probably the floor underneath will be the 8x2 as well. But we'll see. I mean, it really makes no difference. No matter which one you use, they all need 6 concrete for 1 foundation. So, yeah, I mean, that was 400 concrete, and yeah, it really didn't make as much real estate as I was hoping. But we've got the first concrete coming in from those other ones now, so it should start building up relatively quickly. And I might even be sneaky and kind of leave this game running a little bit after I stop recording, just so that it builds up that concrete a bit faster for me, maybe. Because as I said, that's going to be such a big limiting factor right now. And we need to get the concrete going so that we can get the other floors going, because the next important thing that we want to get is the Mark II conveyor belts, because right now our miners are producing 120 copper and iron and limestone per minute, but our conveyor belts are the limiting factor. We can only take 60 of that out. So that's why I say we want to get everything going as quickly as possible and get all of this stuff laid out properly, so we can start making screws and reinforced plates, and we can get that all going so we can start upgrading all of these belts to Mark IIs and sort of get everything as efficient as we can. But let's maybe just, before we stop the recording, let's maybe just try and finish this section off. And it doesn't even look like we're going to have enough of that. Yeah. And what is going? 25 minutes. And as I said, like now it's all just about waiting for the concrete. So I think we will call this episode here. I mean, we've unlocked the 2 milestones that I wanted to. That was the goal at the beginning. We've increased production of our concrete. We've now got it going into a nice storage container. It's actually going at full speed right now while these other ones are working through their stockpile. So the plan for the next episode will be to tap this pure iron node. Maybe we'll set up a proper kind of slightly efficient production line of that to make iron rods, and we can make some screws maybe. But it will also be to sort of extend out this platform and start working on the other floors, the floor below, to have a proper concrete facility down there, where it will then be made down there but brought up to this main floor. And then as I was saying, like I was thinking, do we have enough? Yes, we do. So in our multiplayer playthrough, we set up this floor like so, with the smelters running out that way, and then all of the resources were coming in like this. I don't have enough on me. But all of the resources were coming in, and it was just one very, very long line of smelters, and then taking the ingots out of this and moving it up to the floor above. However, what I'm thinking about doing this time is, instead of just having all, I mean, it was like 18 or 32 or something smelters running down that way. We're still going to run them down that way, but we're going to have lines of them like this. So each ore node will run one of these, and the reason being is because once we move on to level 2 belts, currently we can only run 2 smelters off each line. Once we get to level 2 belts, we can run 4, but once we can put Mark II miners on, we need 8 per line. So it was kind of a bit of a pain the way we did it, because obviously we had all of the conveyor belts just coming in this area, all 4 of them, and running down, and we'd have to go through a lot of work to plug in the correct number of smelters onto each belt as we went down. So whereas now I'm thinking, they'll come in and all the ores will actually run in this direction, and then we'll just split it off as we go. And then when I can, when we have the ability to increase the number of smelters, it'll just be easy to tack them on to the end of the line. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then we'll just figure out exactly how we're going to move stuff up. If we're going to sort of have a bit of a spaghetti situation where the stuff is moving up wherever it's most convenient, or if we have like a main organized spine in the base, or exactly how we're going to do that. But we'll figure all of that out in the next episode, which I'm not going to record right now, but I'm going to try and record relatively soon, so we get episode 3 out much closer to episode 2 than we did last time. But if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more Satisfactory, World of Warships, the Forests, and all that sort of lovely stuff. Also, please feel free to check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Predator458 if you want to be able to watch live gameplay of Satisfactory, you know, both with friends and on my own. And I'm also about to start a single player, well, of course, a single player, but a playthrough of The Witcher 3 on over on Twitch. So if you want to check that out, twitch.tv/Predator458. The link will also be in the description down below. But that is it from me for today. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for stopping by. This is Predator458 signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.